Dear oh dear. It seems my esteemed colleagues made a mess of things. But why blame them, really? It takes those blockheads of councillors, of course, not to know any confrontation with hardened assassins is bound to leave a trail of, a variety of things. Blood, ash, and general destruction come to mind. Perhaps I should have gone with them after all. Sounds like they had a jolly old time.
Your generals are out of control, Commander. Now, I appreciate they stood together to rescue Henry's daughter, but when the end result has a tally of 2 incinerated buildings, a ruined hall of industry, and a few dozen dead or wounded, it seems to me they were a tad too enthusiastic. They may be used to battlefields alone these days, but we do not tolerate such mayhem in our cities. Someone needs to pay.
Good to see you, Commander. I've been meaning to thank you for the role you've played in the rescue of my dear Anne. 'Twould have been another story entirely had Catherine and Scarlet not come to my aid. Wonders of women. You should have seen us. And we reached before those bloody assassins did. But they beset us in far greater numbers than we could have foreseen. They used imp-throwing bombs, lizard arrows tipped with poison, dwarf axes that could cut through steel, but we held them off time and again. We 3 duelists, shoulder to shoulder. Of course, there was a touch of collateral damage, I suppose. One of those imp devices rolled right into an undead kindergarten. But really, those skeletal scamps are already dead to begin with, right? I thought it was rather funny. A shower of bones, it was. Came clattering down like dry hail. Is that a reason to be a killjoy and scream bloody murder? 'Cause that's what those gods-be-damned councillors of yours are doing. They demand restitution and the likes. I've half a mind to demonstrate what functionalities come with this arm of mine, and where they can put them. Fine. Dance to the tune of those money-pawning, lie-mongering, two-faced politicians of yours. I'll see to it they get their scapegoat and their precious public victory. How I wish hypocrisy was a fluid, so I could drown them in it.
We did it, Commander. Anne has been rescued. Hardest fight I ever fought, but it was worth it. I'm sorry to say, though, those damned assassins spared not the citizens that stood in their way. Many died, but not by our blades.
We accomplished our mission, Commander, but I shudder to think at what cost. No wonder the councillors are in an uproar.
Seven be merciful when your generals descend unto our cities, Commander. When they paint the town red, they transcend the mere figure of speech. We undead have children to mourn because of their escapades, and we demand hefty reimbursement.
Commander, I would like to raise a concern about public decency. Now, if certain men feel the apparent need to cavort with one of their own sex, I suppose that's their business, not mine. It becomes my business, however, when they engage in affection publicly. There I am, lunching in the park with my family, when my children have to witness 2 of their sort making out like teens in heat. Disgusting displays like that should be forbidden, and indeed, that is exactly what I am asking you to do.
What an old prude Falstaff is. If a boy and a girl can sit on a park bench and kiss the afternoon away, why not 2 boys or 2 girls? Is their love worth less or less beautiful? No, of course not. And to make the distinction is ridiculous.
Sir Falstaff is absolutely correct, Commander. Those deviants he describes insult the Seven with their perverted practices, and should not only be outlawed, but ostracized as well.
Sir Silvervein is making an ass out of himself, Commander. Instead of shielding his children from so-called aberrants, he had better teach them a lesson or two about tolerance and liberty. As it stands, it would seem you'll have to teach him those lessons by denying his outrageous request.
Dwarves and their yammering. If you feel an itch, you have to scratch. And we imps don't care what that itch is, or who does the scratching.
Perhaps you enjoy the sight of two men performing intricate feats of tongue wrestling, Commander. But me, it costs me my bloody lunch. Soon the parks will be full of them, and my family will have to dine indoors. What about our rights? What about decorum?
Love does not discriminate, Commander. I'm very glad you don't either.
He who allows travesty to thrive prospers by perversion and slights the sacred seven. Align with sin, Commander, and with sinners you will spend eternity, forced to undergo their unnatural ways. If that does...
The lesson was hammered home, Commander, if not well received. Let Falstaff continue to gripe if he must, though. What is important is that his appeal was denied. For is not the pursuit of happiness one of the fundamental ambitions of life? Who are we to stand in its way?
Well spoken, Commander. Boy, that Falstaff really is something else. Two men can't smooch in public, but a dragon can marry an elf, a lizard, or whatever species takes his fancy. Talk about your double standards.
How's that jetpack?
Praise be that I know more than 100 languages